So welcome to another lesson of the Book of the Essence. And this lesson, Naganama, no, this lesson are qualities of God, right? All these are qualities of God found in the original thing, the original qualities of God that are found in the beginning, Genesis chapter 2 to be specific, right? Because God made man in his image and him do certain things for man. We reveal the qualities we have. And then we say, whoa, these qualities is powerful. So I'm going to explain them to you so you can apply them to your own life in a stages now. So, in the beginning, after God met the man and he made Eden, he made the Garden of Eden, God put the man in Eden. So we're going to start off there. So, it's Genesis chapter 2 and verse 15. It says, Jehovah God took the man and settled him in the Garden of Eden to cultivate it and to take care of it. So we'll start out, put on that on the board, go call that qualities of God, right? So first of all, we learn the first thing he said God took the man and settled him in the Garden of Eden. So the first quality of God where we identify is being settled, right? Being settled. So a man must be settled, especially in a dwelling place. Now, what does this settle mean? Settle means to be comfortable and to be calm in an environment. So I'm going to show you the opposite quality what God don't like about a man. James chapter 1 and verse 5 and verse 8. It says, verse 7 and 8. It says, in fact, this is talking about a man who lacks faith. It says, in fact, that man should not expect to receive anything from Jehovah. He is an indecisive man, unsteady in all his ways. So that are the opposite of being settled, being indecisive, right? Being indecisive, unsteady, right? You can't make a decision and stick to it. So so being settled is like being decisive, and having the ability to make a decision and stick to it, right? That is being settled. So that's a first quality of God, this being settled. Now, the second thing we learn is that when God put him in a Garden of Eden, he says to cultivate it and to take care of it. So that means God will give man work. So the second quality of God is that he had meaningful, well, you can't say meaningful or productive work. I love to use the word productive, right? So productive work. Because why was the man in the garden? That means he had purpose. He had a purpose. The man wasn't in the garden just for idle, or just for live, or just to enjoy the place. No, it was to cultivate it and to take care of it. So man had a purpose. So second quality of God is being purposeful. Like purposeful, right? Purpose? No, sorry. Purpose. Yeah, I think that's it. Purposeful. Yeah, purposeful. You're supposed to be purposeful in your life. So first of all, you're supposed to be settled. That means you're supposed to be decisive. You're supposed to make a decision what you want to do with your life and stick to it. Second of all, you have to have purpose in your life, and you must do productive work. Purpose, that means the life of a purpose. You're supposed to do something, and you're also supposed to work at the purpose in your life, because man was supposed to cultivate and take care of it, right? The Garden of Eden. No, second thing we learn about God. No, third thing we learn about God. So this is a 1 and it's a 2. Now we go on to verse 16, right? It says, Jehovah God also gave this command to the man. From every tree of the garden you may eat to satisfaction. But as for the tree of the knowledge of good and bad, you must not eat from it. For in the day you eat from it, you will certainly die. So God, when I tell a man, say he must exercise something we all know as being self-control. Self-control or self-restraint, right? So God put limitations, right, on what the man was able to do. So even though in the garden, you have every tree where I'm pleasing to look at and good for food, when can use. there was one tree in the middle of the garden, never there at the side, there at the corner, in the middle of the garden, where him couldn't consume. And the tree bear fruit, but he couldn't consume that tree there. So man had a limit. So man couldn't do everything. He never have freedom to do whatever you have freedom to do whatever you feel like, because God put one barbed wire fence on the tree. But you give the man the instructions, right? Instructions to say, hey, don't do that. This is what you're not supposed to do. And the man was supposed to have self-control. This is a self thing, right? Supposed to have a self-control, self-restraint. We say, oh, God put the rules. We not to break the rules. So God put rules around your life. So rules, your life supposed to have rules, right? Rules supposed to exist, and consequences supposed to exist for breaking the rule. So you must have rules and you must have consequences, right? For breaking rules. For breaking rules. For breaking rules, right? So God is a rule-based person, right? In life have rules. God's life is not a free-for-all. Life have rules. Man's life is supposed to have rules. And you're supposed to have self-control and self-restraint not to break your rules. And who set the rule? God. God set the rule for the man. What is man? Made in the image of likeness of God. So God set rules for himself. Boom. Just like that. God set rules for himself. Write that down. God set rules for himself. Right? So that's how you understand how God act. This is how God act in a life. So that's it. Now we go on to 18. It says, then Jehovah God said, it is not good for the man to continue to be alone. I am going to make a helper for him as a complement to him. Now this is very interesting. So in our life, right? God, when they look wrong, and God realized something, right? So that means that God perspicacious, right? Or God observant. So God, observant, right? Qualities of God, observant. You realize, say, hey, this a man in a right few man stay by himself, right? And then him saying go create a helper for him. So number 2, he said even though you're observant, in thoughtful, right? Thoughtful of who? Others, in thoughtful of others, right? When I look upon the man, he observe something. God's observant. Then he realizes that there's a problem. He realizes problems, and he's saying go form a solution to problems. So God creates solutions. So these are 3 things: create solutions. So these are all what found in verse 18. So I'm just go put that as number 4, right? So being settled, being purposeful, and doing productive work. That's verse 2. That's second quality. Quality number 3 is say you have self-restraint or self-control, and you have a rule-based life, and you have consequences to breaking your own rule. So God holds himself accountable. Listen to me. God is a fantastic person. You have to live your life like this. This is how God tell you how to live your life, because these all apply in stages. So you have consequences to breaking your own rule. So God holds himself accountable. Accountability. Yeah, accountability. To who? To himself. To himself. Right? To himself. So, but listen to what interesting. After God observed something, you went thoughtful, and then he created one solution. In my mind, he reformed solution. God realized something. In Bible, he never say God went on to create woman right after. Interesting enough, it says, now Jehovah God, this is verse 19. It says, now Jehovah God had been forming from the ground every wild animal of the field, and every flying creature of the heavens, and he began bringing them to the man, to see what he would call each one. And whatever the man would call each living creature, that became its name. So the man named all the domestic animals and the flying creatures of the heavens, and every wild animal of the field. But for man there was no helper as a complement of him. So this one powerful. Look upon this now. Look upon this. So even though God realized a problem, right? You observe and you realize a problem and he create a solution in their mind. God never stopped what they do originally, which is create the animals from the earth. He never stopped that and just jump or create a woman, right? God continue to do what they do originally. So that means that God is what? Goal oriented, right? Goal oriented. He is decisive. What God do? Decisive means make a decision and stick to it. So God, you see that you come back, you see play out back up yourself, you make that decision, then you go create animals, and you go create animals them now, and then guess what? But you realize a problem. But you need just jump, you never unsteady in 9 weeks. You see, oh my God, you see that powerful? God never unsteady in 9 weeks. God never just say, woman, this a man need a compliment. And just jump up and stop create animal and just go create woman, put him on a sleep and create woman, then go back. God is not indecisive, he's not unsteady in 9 ways. You can follow God's ways. God's ways pure. My God, you see that? It's like your ways pure. You're not unsteady in 9 ways. He goal oriented. So he realize a problem, right? He realize the problem and he create a solution in their mind, but he never stop what he might do. He go do that and then go back to what he meant to do originally. He goal oriented. God is steady. You see, back in go, he's settled. He's settled and he make a decision and he stick to it. Goal oriented person. This is what God is like. God, fantastic. Listen, my God, that's a fantastic thing. So yeah, that's what God does. And then so verse 21 to 22, it says, so Jehovah God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, and while he was sleeping, he took one of his ribs and then closed up the flesh over its place. And Jehovah God built the rib that he had taken from the man into a woman, and he brought her to the man. So lastly, we are look at last few time being, we are look at say God. Listen, this is what God do. God solves problems before they become a big issue, right? God did that because he realized it in a verse 18. You realize the problem, you see it, you observe it, you realize that there's a problem, but him solve it before it become a big issue, before like you saw go to control, and just solve it. So that's one thing about God. He solve problems before they become a big issue, while still being goal oriented, right? So these are the qualities about God. God is settled, right? That means saying decisive. He make a decision and he stick to it. God is purposeful. God, this is how man, this is how you're supposed to be in your own life, right? You're supposed to be decisive, make a decision and stick to it. Yeah, you imitate the original ways of God. When you create the perfect man, you imitate this. So you're decisive, you make a decision and stick to it. You're purposeful, and you do the productive work where you do that productive work where in line with your purpose. Then you have self-control. You have rules. You have consequences to breaking your own rules where you set for your life. You have self-restraint, and guess what? You hold yourself accountable. That's why you have consequences for breaking your rules. You hold yourself accountable. If you break that rule the way you set for yourself, because you say for 1 year you're not going to eat any dairy, right? And if you eat any dairy, guess what? You go stop eat meat for 1 year, right? You go do that. And you eat dairy one time. Where you go say, well, man, no, I'm not to do that, not to do that. You're accountable. So God would hold himself accountable. You have to stop eating meat for 1 year. That's how God would act. You see, God is so pure. He's so fantastic. There's nobody can compare to him. Now listen to this. He's observant, he's thoughtful of others, and he creates solutions to problems. God realize, say, hey, you're not good for this man to stay by himself. And then he might observe other people and he realize they have one problem. And then he create one solution in his mind. He create one solution already. But then he do what? He goal oriented. That means say he go back to being settled. He make a decision and he stick to it. He never then stop what he might do to create the woman, then go back to what he might do and steady in 9 ways. God continue to make the animals them after he finish what they do originally. Then God go over, make the woman and give her to the man. God is a fantastic person. He's goal oriented and he also solve problems before they become a big issue. Give God a round of applause, man. May I tell you, so if you live your life like God, this way, implementing these things, you're going to live the perfect life because this is the way God intend people to live. God intend man to live because this is the original way God intend man to live. It's not normal. This is not a normal thing. So, yeah, these are qualities of God and this is how God intend man to live their life. So, apply this to your own life and you just live like how God intended you to live. So yeah, take care.